Hi everyone, welcome back to Your Wellcast. Today I want to dive into some intro discussion around behavior change and habits. As human beings, we are most definitely creatures of habit. Our daily actions and behaviors shape our lives and ultimately determine the outcomes we achieve. So, whether it's adopting a healthier lifestyle, if you want to enhance productivity, or you're pursuing new goals, simply understanding how to effectively change your behavior and form positive habits is essential. To start off, let's run through a brief overview of behavior change and why it's so important to our lives. Behavior change refers to the process of intentionally modifying our actions, habits, and patterns of behavior to achieve a desired outcome. The word I always hone in on there is intentional. It involves understanding the underlying factors that drive your behavior and then developing strategies to alter those behaviors effectively. So, whether you want to adopt specific wellness habits, overcome procrastination, improve relationships, behavior change is key for growing and changing and reaching your full potential. As humans, we often wonder what are the factors that influence our behavior and make it actually challenging to change. Of course, we all individually understand that our behavior is influenced by a multitude of factors, right? Our environment, social interactions, emotions, beliefs, past experiences. Additionally, the brain is actually wired to seek comfort and resist change, so making it difficult to break free from those ingrained habits, even when we know that those are so obviously not serving us. Understanding these influences and learning how to navigate them, in a true intentional way, as we mentioned before, is definitely crucial in initiating and sustaining that behavior change. There are so many pieces that can be prescriptive and, the quick fix. And of course, you can change your behavior rapidly, like on a daily basis. But is that maintained? Is that long lasting for the period of time that you actually want to see gains and larger adjustment in your lifestyle? It's so complex and it can be very challenging to change. But there are effective strategies and techniques that you can start to engage in, ways that make behavior change and our chances with this process that much more successful. So, big picture, high level includes, setting clear and specific goals, breaking those goals down into small, actionable, and manageable steps, creating a supportive environment, and practicing self-awareness, utilizing your positive reinforcement, and seeking social support as it's needed. These are just a start. And when you go a little deeper into the realm of changing behavior and habits around health and wellness and nourishing your whole complete self, it can look like this. Nourishing the complete self involves nurturing your mind, your body, and your soul in a holistic and balanced manner. A method, an approach, a routine, and certain resources become familiar with for this journey that can help in the transformation. I'm going to start that piece over. Nourishing the complete self involves nurturing the mind, the body, and the soul in a holistic and balanced manner. I'm going to talk about some of the resources methods, approaches, things you can become familiar with for this journey that can actually help transform you when you're ready. Set clear and holistic goals. So define very specific and actionable goals, actionable items that are manageable to you in your lifestyle at the present moment. Those particular things that encompass the well-being of your mind, your body, and your soul. For example, you can start by opening up your self-awareness and aim to journal for 5 to 10 minutes on a daily basis. You can engage in mindful movement to open up your body and mind connection, simply doing that for 15 minutes a day. You can practice recharging self-care rituals that energize you at the exact same time. It sort of brings you that larger sense of joy, calm, invigoration. Anything that you're looking for in that particular moment. Again, be specific and be realistic. We always shoot for the moon, land on the stars, but when we're talking about the day-to-day, the very manageable actionables, we all have a tendency to overachieve right away, and then those things dwindle. So be very, again, intentional about what it is you want to, where you want to get, and how with baby steps can you get there. Another thing that can help is cultivating mindfulness. So practice mindfulness to develop awareness of your thoughts, your emotions, and your actual physical sensations. This can help you identify patterns and triggers that may hinder your progress. Through mindfulness and being very present in moments throughout the day, you can consciously choose behaviors that support the nourishment of your complete self. Again, I'll say it, be present in what you're doing in the moment. Another way that can help is to create a supportive environment. Surrounding yourself with people, in spaces, using resources that actually inspire and uplift you. There are so many tools and resources out there in the world. Utilize the ones that actually make the most sense for you. You can get suggestions. People will give you opportunities to use, their programs, their resources. But if it's complicating your life more than it is simplifying while you're trying to strategically make these habits long-lasting, go ahead and ditch that. Find a new, small solution as a tool and a means to help your specific way of living. Engaging in activities that promote mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. It's all encompassing. Don't think that you can solely narrow in on one area and think that the rest will magically, come to fruition and solve themselves. It's being cognizant of each part and how the interplay works amongst them. So for instance, join a supportive community. Create a tranquil space of your own for reflection. Know that that's your space. That's your safe space. You could gather educational materials that align with your personal growth. Now, again, this is different for everyone. And when you notice your nervous system is in a relaxed, safe, comforted state, you can then tap into your true understanding and come back to these environments as often as you need. practicing self-compassion. Be kind and patient with yourself throughout the behavior change process. Acknowledge that change takes time and that setbacks are a very natural part of the journey. Give yourself grace and believe, not only cognitively understand, really believe it, that nourishing the complete self is an ongoing and evolving process with very many layers. Human beings are so complex. You should not feel guilt, put guilt upon you, feel like you're not moving faster, compare yourself to others. This is your journey. You're giving yourself the grace and the time that it takes for you to individualistically make the changes that you would like to make for yourself. Seek balance and moderation. Aim for a balanced approach in nourishing your mind, body, and soul. I really harp on this with clients. Please try and avoid extremes or super rigid rules that may lead to burnout or resistance. Those rigid rules bring upon guilt and overthinking, too high of expectations, and it just makes you feel like you're failing. So really embrace moderation and flexibility. It's the ebb and flow of it all. You are not a perfect being. Allow yourself to enjoy life, real life, while you're maintaining your health and well-being. Just because you're on this journey, just because you're making these changes, does not mean that you cannot enjoy your life anymore. Oftentimes I'll say to crowd out. When we start small, we learn where love and attention is needed, and then we begin to adjust in very small increments by crowding out, let's say, the quote-unquote not so great pieces with the more loving, the more joyful and nourishing ways to live. Life is enjoyed in the gray space. There is no black and white. And if we try and live in the black and white, we're always stumbling. So again, balance and moderation to it all. Build a routine. Establish a daily routine that incorporates activities supporting the nourishment of your whole human self. Discipline isn't often a glamorous word, but it's so necessary when we're reframing lifestyle choices. This could include morning pages rather than grabbing your phone upon waking, or using a guided meditation or calm music to regulate when you're aware of the time of day that you typically get stressed out or you become sleepy. Notice those cues. Moving your body in 1 to 2 ways each day, just feeling into your physical sensation, cooking quality dinners, finding a creative outlet, purposefully scheduling time for yourself to relax. And the list could go on. But when you build a routine, start with, how do I want my day to look? It's okay to think in a selfish manner. How do you truly want your day to look? And then plan, adjust, and remind yourself that you are, more times than not, in control of your time management, actions, and reactions. Yes, the day goes off. There's meetings. There's something that comes up in the family. Dinner's not ready. Anything that you can think of. But when you come back to the moderation, the flexibility, but also within that routine and knowing that you are in control. You're in control of time. That's when we start to make those intentional choices. Utilizing self-reflection and journaling. Engage in regular self-reflection and journaling to deepen your actual understanding of your thoughts, your emotions, and your desires. This is said more than it's actually done by people. I think it's a hard routine to pick up, but once you do, morning or night or both, for, I'm not joking, 3 minutes in those moments, you notice how much more clear the day becomes when you've sort of crafted it in your mind. And then you've thought about it at the end of the day. I've created mindful minutes to be used daily. And when you participate in this type of practice, you begin to explore the interplay between mind, body, and soul. And you're able to track your progress, any reoccurring thoughts and feelings that come up in different stages, and you find areas for growth. Small changes, just like all of these that we've outlined, empower you to begin to break free from the negative influences and foster a greater sense of connection and alignment with your mind, body, and soul. And while we're on the topic of, the intro into the behavior change and the habits, I really wanted to add here why it's important to create a foundation for value-based habits in your own life. Shifting the focus here slightly, value-based habits are behaviors that align with your core values and principles. And when you consciously build habits based on your values, you're more likely to experience a sense of fulfillment and real purpose in your own life. These habits act as guiding principles, your North Star, shaping your decisions, actions, and ultimately the direction you take. Value-based habits are rooted in a deep understanding of what truly matters to you. They reflect your unique aspirations, principles, and the type of person you strive to be. Unlike other habits that may be driven by more external factors or societal expectations, value-based habits provide a sense of authenticity and personal meaning. And when your actions align with your values, you experience a greater sense of fulfillment and overall satisfaction and success. These types of habits can vary from person to person, as they are deeply personal and reflect your individual value-based ways. For one person, a value-based habit might involve practicing daily gratitude, expressing kindness towards others, or dedicating regular time for reflection and growth. And for someone else, it could be prioritizing their physical health, maintaining strong boundaries in relationships, or committing to lifelong learning. The key here is to identify the values that are most important to you and build habits that reinforce those specific values. It's so fascinating to me how such habits can encompass It's so fascinating to me how such habits can encompass various aspects of our lives. So the first thing is to start by identifying your own specific innate core values. Our lives are so interwoven with others, in relationship, home life, etc., that it's easy to blend individualistic ways with the collective. I always say that it's so healthy to look at it this way, as a road. Envision a road. There are two solid lines and one dotted line down the middle. How then can you incorporate your gifts and value-based lifestyle on one solid line from your past, present, future visions, dreams, learning, growth, all the change that you've experienced and will experience? All the navigation on your line, your solid line, and then learn to blend that with another or others on that dotted line. With respect and gratitude, we offer core beliefs, grace and compassion, all while staying true to ourselves and owning that specific side that is you. Another can have the other solid line, whether we're talking relationship, marriage, professional, workplace, all of those things, but you have your solid line. You work with someone and or others on blending in that middle dotted line. Now, identifying core values requires introspection and self-reflection. And with age and in different stages, these very well may change and morph. Start here. Start by considering what truly matters to you in life. What principles and ideals do you hold dear? What brings you a sense of fulfillment and purpose? What activities or pursuits make you feel most alive and most authentic? Think to yourself, what qualities do I admire and respect in others? And in opposition, these things work as a mirror. What qualities challenge or trigger me in others? What aspects of my life do I consider non-negotiable and essential? When do I feel the most aligned and at peace with myself? What kind of impact do I want to have on the world or the people around me? What are the common themes or patterns that emerge when I reflect on my most cherished moments or experiences? And if I could focus on only a few things in life, what would they be? Reflecting on these questions and allowing yourself time for introspection can help you gain clarity and insight into your core values. Remember, this is so personal and it's an evolving process. So be open to exploring and discovering new aspects of yourself along the way. Once you have a more clear understanding of your values, you can evaluate your current habits and assess whether they align with those values. If they don't, it's time to make intentional changes and develop new habits that reflect a more authentic life. One last thing is, how can you stay motivated and committed to maintaining such value-based habits in the long run, for the long term? Motivation and commitment is needed for sustaining these types of habits. So one effective strategy is to consistently remind yourself of the underlying reasons why these habits are so meaningful to you. You dig a little deeper, you find those root issues, those root causes as to why you're acting. Regularly reflecting on the positive impact they have on your life and the alignment with your values can provide a powerful source of continued motivation. Creating a supportive environment and seeking accountability can also make a big difference. Having a guide by your side helps on your journey. It's never too late to start. Small, consistent steps lead to lasting change you can be proud of. Until next time, be you, love them, XO.